Viralnater presents Tom Hanks' family confirms the actor's diagnosis. The world knows Tom Hanks as a well-known star who's known for being one of the nicest guys in Hollywood. But it's taken a lot of hard times, from an unhappy childhood to illnesses that changed his life, to earn that title. Tom's success isn't just due to how good an actor he is, it's also due to how nice he is. He's often called one of the nicest guys in Hollywood, which is an honorable title that not many people can claim. This is true even though he's had a rough life, from a rough childhood to a messy love life. Even when Tom Hanks is sick, there are plots against him, or his kids cause him trouble, he always comes out better than before. It makes his friends happy because they only want the best for him. But someone can only handle so much before they break down. Luckily, nothing's been able to defeat Tom, but it's clear that the world has tried many times. Didn't expect to become famous. It's simple and easy to think that celebs' lives are easy and simple when you look at them. Many well-known people today weren't always like that, though. Many people, including Tom Hanks, grew up as normal people. A lot of people in his family have started jobs like the actors, but what his parents did wasn't very exciting. Tom's mother worked in a hospital, and his father was hired out as a cook. Tom Hanks made a name for himself, not his family history of fame. Of course, his childhood wasn't always wonderful because he was a normal Joe. Tom had a pretty rough childhood. The star didn't find happiness until much later in life. His dad wasn't around very often. The fact that Hanks' father wasn't around much during his childhood made things a little hard. Since he worked long hours most days, it looks like the man was very busy with his job. Because of this, Tom and his brothers didn't get much care from their dad, and they longed for fatherly love for years. Hanks didn't always feel bad that his dad wasn't there, but it was hard for the star not to have him around. For kids to grow up right, they usually need a safe family unit. If that wasn't present in the Hanks home, it's possible that Tom's early years were hard. There was, of course, a very good reason why this had a big effect on the performer. His parents split up. It looks like Tom's parents split up when he was only a few years old. When his parents moved out, they split up as 4 brothers. His younger brother moved in with their mother, but the rest of the kids stayed with their dad. To begin with, Tom probably found that hard to handle. He no longer had his mom or brother around as much as he wanted. If his dad worked all the time, though, he'd only have his brothers to play with most of the time. It's normal for brothers and sisters to fight, even though there was probably a lot of love there. They were also older than Tom, so it's possible they didn't want to hang out with him. He saw his father die. His father loved his kids, but it looks like he was having problems of his own when Hanks was born. He'd been having trouble with something for a long time before Tom got there. He may have seen his dad die when he was a child. He was hurt very badly by the tragedy, and not just because his father had died. It's said to have happened very violently. The man died in a fight. After what happened, Tom's dad had to go to court more than once to explain what happened. The person who did it was found not guilty because there was a fight, but the man was scarred for years. That could be why he wasn't close to his kids when Tom was young. Got life lessons. Even though Tom Hanks lived with his dad wasn't there to watch out for him because he wasn't there very often. That's why he didn't learn some important things until a lot later than he should have. One example is Tom took years to learn how to take care of his teeth properly because no one taught him how to brush them. He told the New York Times that he didn't start flossing until after high school because he learned how to do it from a movie he saw in the 2nd grade. The movie showed that eating apples can help clean teeth, so Tom did that for many years. Things might have been different if he'd seen his father more. Hard for Hanks. Life was hard for Tom Hanks in more places than just his own home. He had some problems in school as well. The star said that he wasn't the most popular student when he was younger. He had a hard time making friends with other students because he was geeky, shy, and a Bible-toting evangelical. The fact that he moved around a lot probably didn't help either. He was said to have lived in 10 different homes by the time he was 10. But it wasn't just other kids who didn't like him. Tom Hanks didn't have any real adult role models for years because his teachers didn't like him either, even though he was a bit of a nerd. Dropped out of college. Not everyone should go to school. People don't always want to go to college, and some people who do go don't always see things through to the end. Just because they can't or won't succeed doesn't mean this isn't the right road for them. Tom started going to college but never finished it, so it looked like that was the case. What a good subject theater was for him at the time, given that Hanks had done as a performer. He did, however, get a job at the Great Lakes Theater Festival while he was there. This worked so well that it went on for 3 years. Tom learned enough from that he chose not to go to college anymore. He could live theater instead of studying it. Tom Hanks as an intern. Tom had a lot of success in his personal and business life while he was an acting student. In this case, he met his first wife while he was in school. This happened in the 1970s. They had a child in 1977 and got married in 1978. With his new family, Hanks was meant to be happy as can be. It looks like Tom's first marriage wasn't what he thought it would be like to be married. He says it's because he's not ready to get married at such a young age. The main event in his hard youth was a failed marriage, which seems to have left him with scars. He liked Samantha Lewis, but he didn't find real love until he saw someone else. He loved Rita Wilson. Tom met Rita Wilson a few years after getting married. They worked together on the show Bosom Buddies, where they seemed to hit it off right away. Hanks was married, though, and even though he liked his co-star, he wasn't going to start an affair. After 4 years, they ran into each other again, this time in the comedy movie Volunteers. Were they being pushed together by fate? Even though the star said he was interested in Wilson, Tom was still ready to believe it. It looks like she felt the same way, and they were soon dating. But Hanks had to do the right thing and tell Luz that their marriage was over before they could get together. Divorce from first wife. For most of Tom Hanks' marriage, this breakup seemed like it was going to happen. His relationship with Samantha Lewis was always tense and full of fights because they weren't meant to be together. Their breakup should have been a relief when he finally did it, but after they broke up there was a lot of trouble because people said Tom and Rita Wilson had been having an affair. Fans didn't change their minds about this because the couple got married only a year after the divorce was final. The divorce papers didn't help Tom either because they made it sound like the split between him and Luz was a huge mess. Was the fact that Rita was there to blame? Luz passed away. Indeed, Tom and Samantha were no longer married, but they didn't stop seeing each other. They did have 2 kids together, so there was always something that linked them. That tie's no longer there, though, because Luz is no longer with us. Bone cancer was found in her, and even though she went through several rounds of treatment, she died in 2002. Hanks is said to have helped his ex-wife through this time by paying all of her medical bills so she wouldn't have to worry about money. It's not too hard to believe this, given how much Tom makes. Samantha was Tom's ex-girlfriend, but she's still the mother of his kids, so she probably did it for them. Tom didn't pay alimony. There were rumors that Tom Hanks paid for all of Samantha's medical bills, but it looks like the star wasn't always so generous with his money. That's what their son Colin said in a podcast in 2018 about his youth. When he talked to Dax Shepard, he said that his mom's side of the family always had trouble with money. It sounds like she told her kids, "We don't have the money, your dad has that." Colin doesn't know how much alimony his dad paid her after the split, but based on what he said on the show, it sounds like it wasn't enough. Because he didn't pay Luz before, did Tom pay her hospital bills this time? Type 2 diabetes. People in this family are sick more than just Luz. Tom's had some bad news from the doctor in the past. His problems, on the other hand, are not as serious as his ex-wife's. The star told everyone in 2013 that he had type 2 diabetes. The situation in question won't go away, but it is possible to keep it under control. Tom's illness shouldn't have a big effect on his life as long as he does what he needs to do. Still, when the actor's doctor told him the news, it probably hit him pretty hard. Most people don't like being told they'll have to deal with something for the rest of their lives. Right away, it made Hanks wish he had paid more attention to his health as a kid. Bad habits caused him diabetes. Because of their genes, some people are almost certain to get diabetes. That's how it must have been for Tom since the sickness runs in the family. This isn't the only reason he was given the label, though. Tom Hanks isn't embarrassed to say that he didn't take better care of his food and that's why he got diabetes. "I'm part of the lazy American generation," he told Radio Times in 2016. If he wasn't careful, he ate badly as a child and didn't change his ways until it was too late. He's a lot better at living a healthy life now, thank goodness. He doesn't have much of a choice, though, because not doing what he needs to do could kill Tom. His weight over the years. Along with that, Tom said, "You've seen me in movies. You know what I look like," referring to his weight in previous parts. In some of those movies, Hanks wasn't always the big guy, though. He had to lose weight for a few movies so he could play the part well. This includes the courtroom drama Philadelphia and the survival drama Castaway. For these movies, Tom is said to have lost 30 pounds and 55 pounds respectively in just a few months. Some people would say that this is just as bad for you as Hanks' diet. It doesn't help that the star put on weight for some movies like A League of Their Own, a sports drama. Tom's feeling when second wife had cancer. Most likely, Tom Hanks felt very sad when he heard about Lou's cancer. But it probably wasn't as bad of a blow as when Wilson got the same news. It was a long time after that Rita got cancer. The actor told everyone about her illness in 2015. She had to miss a few gigs and have a double mastectomy because of her illness. Thankfully, the surgery went well. There's always a chance that it'll come back, but Rita's cancer is finally behind her. But there was a time when she and Hanks had to face the fact that it could kill her like it did Samuel. It looked like Tom wasn't ready for this mental upheaval. Tom loved Rita Wilson. Hanks was always there for Wilson when she needed him, even though it hurt Tom when his wife got sick. Indeed, his help was one of the things that helped her get through the cancer. Being sick like this can be hard to deal with by yourself, and being negative makes it even harder to fight. No matter how bad things got for Rita, Hanks was always there to help her get back on track. As more proof that their marriage is strong, as Tom's first marriage wasn't, he was her rock. They'd been together for almost 30 years by the time Wilson was diagnosed. Their love was stronger than ever, even after all those years. Couple had virus. Even though Rita was diagnosed with cancer, their health problems were still going on. The news that both Hanks and Wilson had got the coronavirus that spread around the world in 2020 shocked everyone. As one of the first people to get sick from the world outbreak, they showed that no one was safe from getting it. Fans were worried about the couple's health after Rita was diagnosed with cancer and Tom was diagnosed with diabetes. They're both in their 60s. They thought it would be only a matter of time before someone found out they had died. Thank goodness that story never came true because both of them got better from the virus and didn't die. Someone lied about Tom's health. It was hard for them in the weeks after they told everyone about their illness. People were excited to hear about their health, but they were scared by what they had learned. Even though things got better after that first period, some people were still worried that the pair would have signs that would last even after they got better. This was backed up by pictures of Hanks on air in a hospital bed that were shared on social media. Their secret illness was made public, and they said they'd be in and out of the hospital for the rest of his life. On the other hand, this was just someone trying to stir up troubles and make fake news more common than ever. The pictures of Tom were taken in Philadelphia. They fight sometimes. These two are one of the best pairs out there. They're also very nice people. A lot of famous people can't even keep their marriages together for 3 years, let alone 30 years. These two have, however, easily made it through everything that's come their way. It's hard to believe they ever fought just by looking at them. But Tom and Rita aren't perfect. They do fight sometimes, but not often. It looks like this happens most often when the person is driving. He doesn't seem to be very good at following directions and gets angry when his wife tries to help him. It looks like Hanks is too stubborn for his own good, and that stubbornness shows when he's driving. Tom never forgets to make up for it, though. Thank goodness. If you've watched the video till here, that means you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notifications bell icon.